Oh my god, he's back! Yes, that's right, I am back on my YouTube channel, finally. I know you guys have been requesting a lot of videos. Well, you've been making a lot of requests for videos, but not like specific videos. But anyway, here I am. It's awesome to be back. I'm really ready to come back full force to YouTube. I'm gonna try to make one video a week. Don't hold me to that, no promises, but I'm gonna try my best. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a question I get a lot from new cosplayers, which is who should I cosplay? A lot of times people don't really know exactly where to begin. They know that they want to cosplay, and that's pretty much where I started too. So I'm not gonna focus too much on techniques or anything here. We're just gonna be talking about conceptualizing and what should be going through your head when you're thinking of the first character that you want to cosplay. Or if you've been doing this for a while, this is another way to think about the next character that you want to cosplay after your last one. Alright, let's get to it. But before we get started, I do want to say one thing, and that is, make sure you're doing this for the right reasons. Cosplay is for fun. Bottom line, cosplay is for fun, guys. Make sure that you're doing it because you're having a good time, because it's fulfilling you, or maybe just to meet the people in the scene. I've met a lot of really good friends through cosplay, fellow nerds who have the same interests as me that I would have never met without this hobby, and that has led to some really incredible and amazing friendships. Just do it if you're having a good time and do it for fun. So with that in mind, here are some of the factors I think you should be considering when you're thinking about what character you want to cosplay. Number 1. If you could only cosplay one character, who would it be? Now I think this is the most important factor out of any of the following, and this rule kind of overrides all the rest. Like I said, cosplay is a really big labor of love, guys. It's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of mental capacity, and it's a big commitment. So make sure that you're cosplaying a character that really speaks to you. I think that's always the best way to know that you're gonna do a good job with it, that you're gonna feel fulfilled, that you're gonna have a great time. In my opinion, cosplay is like one of the highest forms of respect that you could pay a character. You're actually trying to bring a character that you love to life. You're gonna find other nerds at conventions or meetups or whatever it may be who have this same deep appreciation for these characters, and they're gonna want to talk about whatever this fandom is. I found that I made a lot of real connections with people when I was cosplaying Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, and it's true that maybe only 50% of people who saw me even knew who I was in the first place, but those 50% were so stoked, and you know, I could see it in their hearts that they watched this anime, that they put their heart into it like I had, that they saw that ending and their minds were blown as well. Wow. I promise I wasn't gonna cry today. But that's really the reason why you should do it, and it doesn't matter if you even look anything like the character. This rule overrides all other rules. It's just if you have a deep connection with a character and you must cosplay them, then you must cosplay them. If you could only cosplay that one character in every fandom, in every universe, who would it be? And if there's one character that right now you're thinking of that you have a connection to in your heart, that's the one that you should choose. No doubt. Doesn't matter if they're the opposite gender, doesn't matter if they're 300 pounds and you're 100 pounds, doesn't matter if they're 6'2" and you're 5'4". Just do it. Factor number 2, potential for a cosplay group. This is a really important one to me because I've found that now where I am with cosplay, after doing it for 5 or 6 years, I found that the most fun and the most fulfilled that I felt when I was cosplaying was when I was with a group of friends. In some cases, this might override rule 1, which is the only exception that I'll make, simply because there are power in numbers, and when you're strolling up to the convention in your Todoroki cosplay and you got Deku over here and you got Bakugo over there and Uraraka's behind you and you got Froppy, it's just like awesome. You feel like a squad and it feels really great. But rolling up to a convention with a group is so much more fun than going alone. Because I've gone alone to a lot of conventions and I feel like kind of misplaced for a second at first. I mean, it's fine and you get there, but rolling in with like a whole crew, you're just like, oh, this feels badass as hell. And aside from feeling like an absolute unit, you might have someone in that cosplay group who's more experienced than you, who can offer you help. You have someone there to impart their wisdom and it's a little less scary. And then on the other hand, if none of you guys have any experience with cosplay at all, if you're all on the same level and you're all getting into this for the first time, then it's a lot less scary because you're all like, we don't know what we're doing! And it doesn't matter, and you're just gonna have an awesome time. Factor number 3 is physical likeness. Is there a character that looks a lot like you? If that character is also someone who you connect with, a character that you really like, I would definitely urge you to try cosplaying as them. This is really how I got started out with Nightwing, guys. I knew nothing about Dick Grayson at all. And then one of my best friends for a while had been like, you should cosplay Nightwing. And then he was like, you should cosplay Nightwing. And he's like, Nightwing, Nightwing, Nightwing. And I got more people like Nightwing. And then I looked the guy up and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of look like him. And then I looked up his story and I was like, oh wow, I really like his story. This is really cool. And I got super into the character, and then I read his comic books. And then I started like researching as much as I could about Nightwing. And I was like, wow, why is this guy actually me? But anyway, that's how that started. And I'm not saying that I did it for followers or, you know, for a fan base or whatever, but I am saying that when I did that cosplay and when people saw me, their minds were blown. When people saw me at conventions and stuff, they're like, holy cosplay, Batman, that's the real Dick Grayson. But honestly, the enthusiasm I got for that cosplay was awesome, and it made me feel really good. And I had such a great time doing Nightwing for the first time and debuting that cosplay because people were like, whoa, this guy looks awesome. And I also think it's a really great way to embrace who you are and to embrace your body and your face and just everything about yourself. You know, because characters come in all different shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter what you look like. If there's a character that looks like you, people are gonna be blown away regardless of if it's Roadhog and you're just like a big dude, or if it's like Octane from Apex and you're just like skinny and tall. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, people are just gonna be really blown away by the fact that you did a cosplay and you just like embody that character so well. Now, of course, I don't think this means that you should just like cosplay a character for the hell of it because you look like them. Like, I still think that you should have a personal connection to that character, somewhat, but as long as you're having fun and having a good time, as long as it's something you want to do, I would say definitely go for it. And finally, number 4. Challenge level. Now, as we know, some cosplays are harder to make than others. Some you can buy on eBay for 50 bucks, or some is just pretty much a t-shirt and jeans. And others require weeks, or months, or sometimes even a full year to make. Now, whether you're stepping into cosplay for the first time, or you've been doing this for a while, you should always consider, how hard is this going to be for me to create? I think it's also important to note that if something is challenging, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. If something is like a big build that is like really intimidating, maybe you want to be Reinhardt really bad, it doesn't mean that you can't do it right off the bat. It does mean that it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take resources, and it's going to take a lot of practice and research to do. But don't fret, there's so many resources online. Even here on YouTube, there's so many different users here that make tutorials that'll make your life easier. And you could always reach out to your favorite cosplayers, people that you admire, people that you look up to. 9 times out of 10, if you reach out to a cosplayer who you really care about and you approach them with, my goodness, you're amazing and I really respect the things that you do. I wish someone would say that to me. How do I be like you? Or how do I make things like you? Or what were the methods that you used when you made this piece? Or what would you recommend as a good tutorial for me to start making armor? Again, going back to that first factor, that first rule, I think that should override everything else. If there's a character that you really love, that you have got to embody, then do that character, no matter how hard it is. Because honestly, I believe that if you have the heart and if you have a really deep connection to a character, if it's something that you really, really want to do, then the challenge is going to present itself, but you're going to overcome it. So that's it. And obviously, those are not the only 4 factors that you're going to be thinking of when you're considering a character to cosplay, but I think that if you use those 4 factors as a guideline, that it'll really help you kind of narrow it down at least. Just know that everyone has frustrations in this hobby. Everyone goes through difficulties, and I always am thinking of contingency A through Z in case something goes wrong. So don't get distressed, don't get discouraged. You will anyway, but just remember that everyone goes through this, and if you need help, there's resources and people out there who will help you. That felt good. I felt good. It was nice. I had a great time today, and I will be making another video next week, so keep your eyes out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.